All right, so we've got our nav created and now it's time to put those links in. The kicker of this is that all we have right now is the index.html. We know that we are going to create multiple pages for car, fire, space, Viking, and contact. And usually those pages all look roughly the same. The header's in the same location, the nav's in the same location, it looks similar, all those types of things. And then you have the content of the page that changes. What we are doing essentially with this Lego index is we are creating a template. That template is going to be used to create the future pages. Now, in our template, we need links. Our future pages are all going to be linked to each other. So what we can do now is create links that don't exist yet. The reason we want to do that is so that when the links do exist, they work. The computer doesn't care if the links exist at this point. They care only if the link exists ever. If it's linked to car.html and car.html doesn't exist right now, it will give you a 404 error when it tries to find car.html. If we then create a car.html and it's still linked, now the computer will find it and use it. So it's important to note that we're creating links that don't exist yet, but it is a template and we'll create them in the future. To do this, we're going to go ahead and go into Dreamweaver. And in Dreamweaver, we're going to change each of these images into a link. To create a link, we're going to use an anchor tag. So I'm going to open up my A tag before the image. Now, by default, Dreamweaver is going to close my A tag right after it, which isn't what I want because I want the image to be the link. So I want the user to be able to come up and click on this image. So I'm going to take the close A tag and I'm going to move that by clicking and dragging it after selecting it to the end of the image but before the end of the cell. Now my image is going to be the clickable link. Then I have to tell the computer, where is this link? So we're going to use an href. Now, by default, that href is going to be for home to our index.html. So we're going to choose our index.html, and this is the only file that is actually existing that we're going to link to. So this home now links to index.html. Now what we're going to do is create A tags for each of these files that don't exist, because over here in our files we don't have a car.html, we don't have a fire.html or anything, but we will in the future, because we're going to take this page and we're going to duplicate it. We're going to duplicate it with new names. We're going to save it as car.html, fire.html, space.html, etc. Once we create those, they'll already be linked and ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and go into each image and we're going to create an A tag, moving that closing tag. Don't forget to move that closing tag after each image. That's really important. And you're going to then create an href. But that href isn't going to be available in this drop-down menu because it doesn't exist. So we're going to do car.html here, and then we're going to go through and we're going to do each of these over and over. So I'm going to create an A tag for each of these with an href. This one's going to be to fire.html, and then don't forget to move that close A tag real quick over to the end of that image. The next one's going to be space.html. The next one is going to be Viking.html. And like I said, even though these files don't exist, we're creating links to future files. The computer will be able to find them when they do get created. And the last one's going to be contact.html. Alrighty. And now they're all links, but they don't all go somewhere. So we're going to go File and Save All. And what I want you to do is I want you to go into your files real quick. And inside of your files, you are going to open your index. Now you can right click and you can open with a certain browser if you want to, because it's probably defaulting to Internet Explorer, but I'm going to open it in Google Chrome. And when I do that, you'll see that it will load, and each of these I get a little mouse icon over it to click on them. If I click on home, it'll work. And notice at the end of this, it's taking me to index.html. But if I click on car, it does take me to car.html, but it says that the file is not found. And that is okay, because the file doesn't exist yet. And that's going to happen for every single one of these. But when we create that car.html and we save it, it's going to find it and it's going to open it. So that's how you can create a link to something that doesn't exist yet, but we're going to get there. So don't forget to hit File, Save All. And at this point, we're about ready to take this template and open it up everywhere else.